guys, it's Mark. We are back for another episode. In this one, I want to answer a question. Does neck pain cause migraines and migraine? And so I'm going to be answering it in a couple different ways. I'm going to be taking it from a couple different angles. I'm going to be kind of explaining what is going on, what you can do about it. So, as you guys know, I love sharing, I love bringing information to you guys, and of course this does not replace the relationship between you and your holistic health practitioner or your functional medicine practitioner. So you always want to make sure you have them on your team so they can properly assess you individually, because everyone is different. Everyone's problems, everyone's trigger levels, everyone's threshold is different. We want to make sure that we are getting a very individualized approach for what is going on. So let's get into it. So can neck pain cause migraines? Really, it goes both ways, okay? It goes both ways. Migraine goes both ways. Neck pain can cause migraines, and migraines can cause neck pain. Now, we know that if we trigger a migraine, everything becomes a lot more sensitive. The body just really, the nervous system becomes much more touchy with everything going on, with all of the stimuli, because it's overloaded, because there's too much going on. Our trigger levels are too high, they're over our threshold, there's too much going on. But neck pain can also contribute to migraines because it can set off this cycle of migraining. Now, it is much more common that migraine will cause neck pain because neck pain will most likely lead to headaches. Now, it is much less likely that neck pain will lead to a migraine that, say, has an aura than that a migraine will create that sensitivity. And remember, migraines can last a very, very long time before the headache phase even gets there. So the prodrome and the aura can last hours, if not days, before the actual migraine is triggered, depending on your individual physiology. So what we might think of as neck pain causing our migraines might actually be the migraine being triggered, creating this sensitivity in the neck region, this tightness, and then we interpret it as neck pain causing migraines. But it's much more likely that neck pain would cause a headache, which can usually be corrected, right? It can usually be, that's why chiropractors and Czech practitioners do really, really well with headaches, because the physical tensions around the jaw, the temples, the neck, the shoulders, and the back, these are all interconnected, and when they're released, when they're corrected, the headaches just fizzle away. It's amazing. So it's always important to make sure you have a good physical practitioner on your side working with you. Now, let's get into the two different sections we're going to be addressing. So the first one is posture. Okay, so posture and neck causing migraine, neck pain causing migraine, neck tension causing migraine. There's a couple things we want to look for, and these all fall under posture. Now, with posture, we want to always make sure that we are upright and we are neutral. That is our strongest position. That is where the human body is the strongest, in neutral, right? Anytime we open ourselves up out of neutral, we are in a weaker place. We got to be careful. We want to make sure that we adapt ourselves, we adapt our physiology to that. This is especially important with sitting postures. We want to make sure that we are ergonomic, that we are set up ergonomically. Otherwise, it may not happen today, it may not happen this week or this month, but over time, your physiology will start to succumb to sitting, because sitting is not a natural posture. We would squat, we would walk, we would lie. Sitting, especially in chairs, is not a very natural posture. So if we're going to do it, we want to make sure that it is ergonomic and that we are supported all the way up the back to the head. We are properly supported so that we are maintaining neutral, so that the joint load on all of our vertebral discs, on our vertebrae, it's equal and it's spaced out, right? I want to make sure we're staying upright, we're staying neutral, we're staying ergonomic, we're getting an ergonomic chair, ergonomic desk, standing desk, switching up positions all the time, so that we are not placing load on one part of the back, one part of the neck, too much for too long. The next one is tension. So it is very, very common, especially if we are really trying to do an activity really, really strong, especially if we are looking at a screen, if we don't have good vision, if we don't have proper contact lenses or glasses, that we will squint, our head will come forward as we try to kind of make out what is going on the screen, what is going on in front of us, and this will bring everything in. So it'll bring our shoulders in, it'll bring our head out, and this will add way more weight and way more pressure to our neck. And this will actually start to tighten our muscles like our sternocleidomastoid, and we will develop tension here. And so this can become a chronic posture. We want to make sure we get this addressed. We want to make sure that we are getting proper seating position, proper contact lenses, glasses, so that we can see properly and so that we are not overly stressing about what is going on for long periods of time. We want to make sure that we're switching positions. Because as we switch positions, we change where the load is. Changing where the load is important because if there's too much load on one area, that area can tighten up and then it can stay that way. That's why a lot of people who have desk jobs are forward. They have that forward head posture. Doesn't look good, doesn't feel good. Our brain really doesn't like it. Our neck doesn't like it, because the more we come forward, the more we are adding weight to our neck. Next, exercises and breathing, right? If we are constantly exhausting our trapezius, our shoulders, our upper back, then we can start having problems because our neck is going to take that burden. So our neck can start tensing and getting really tight to compensate for the rest of our body being really tight. This usually only happens in a subset of migraine patients who work out excessively hard, and they usually need to do more recovery activities, more stretching, more working on building up their energy, their hormonal reserves, as opposed to just breaking themselves down, constantly exhausting their musculature. And then, of course, breathing. This is really common, especially with anxiety, especially with constipation, especially with not getting enough oxygenation to the brain. Breathing, if you're not breathing down, you're breathing up. And if you're not breathing with your diaphragm, which is your primary breathing muscle, it goes down into your abdomen, then you're going to start breathing up into your shoulders, up into your neck, and this will create a ton of tension. This will exhaust your neck, it will exhaust your shoulders, because they're not meant to be breathing for you. So the more anxious you are, the more high-strung you are. Remember, you want to bring that down. You want to use exercises that help bring that down, that help ground you, that help you center yourself, that help you breathe deeper. So you want to be, if there's something preventing you from breathing deep in your gut, any kind of gut inflammation, then that can cause problems. So you want to make sure you're addressing that. And then, of course, the atlas, I've talked about this before, your C1 and C2 vertebrae. If they are off, everything else will compensate. So you want to make sure that you're getting them checked out by a good NUCA chiropractor, check practitioner, osteopath. You want to make sure that they're checking it out, they're correcting it for you. Next, migraine causing neck pain, right? So anytime we're looking at migraines, we're looking at our threshold. We're looking at what is causing our trigger levels to go up. We want to make sure that we resolve that. We want to make sure that we're dealing with that. So obviously, we are healing the gut. We're always healing the gut. Gut is one of the main sources for stress in the body, for our trigger levels going up, for us developing food sensitivities, our immune system not working properly, our hormonal system being overly taxed, because our hormonal system regulates our immune system, right? Our hormonal system also regulates our blood sugar balance. So if there's something going on in the gut, this creates a cascade all throughout the body. We want to make sure that we're dealing with that. Then toxicity. Remember, our world is getting increasingly more and more toxic with all of the off-gassing of the products, petroleum products, all the things that we put on our skin that are synthetic. They get absorbed directly through our skin. 60% of what we put on our skin gets absorbed into our skin, into our bloodstream. We really want to be careful. A lot of these have cancer-causing compounds, but there is a lot of dysregulation. There isn't very good regulation inside of personal care products, hygiene products, makeup products, female hygiene products. There isn't really good regulation there, and so we're putting all these products with bleach and dioxin and parabens and all these chemicals, the BPA, into our body, and this is adding to our body's stress load. It is clogging up our liver. It is causing our body to have to really compensate and driving up our trigger levels, putting us over that threshold. Then stress management. It's the 21st century. You have to have some kind of stress management practice daily. There has to be something that is helping you, let's sort of bottom out Leave all of that stress behind, because if you don't, you're taking it into the next day, and then you're taking it into the next day, and you're taking it into the next day. So you want to make sure at least once a day you're getting to a place where you can drop everything. And this doesn't mean exercising, right? This doesn't mean drawing. This means specifically releasing the tensions throughout your body and clearing out your mind, clearing out your brain, and putting your body into that parasympathetic, that rest, digest, and repair mode. And then balancing macro, micronutrients. I've talked about this before. Your macronutrients, your fats, carbs, proteins, fibers, your micronutrients, all your vitamins and minerals and cofactors and enzymes and all of those things that go into creating who you are, creating what you are, feeding your brain, helping your brain repair from stresses, from whatever is going on in your body. You want to make sure that you're balancing your micro and your macro. But then there's actually a third cause that can kind of play into the sensitivity in the neck and migraines, and that is what I call fibromyalgia style sensitization, right? So this falls under central sensitization, where your central nervous system is becoming sensitized to things that are going on in the body. It is most commonly from the gut. So what I see is gut pathogens, gut dysbiosis, and leaky gut, right? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. These overgrowths, these fungal infections, they are damaging the gut, creating a leaky gut, and then food products and waste from these organisms are getting through the gut, which is supposed to be a very protected area. Remember, the majority of our immune system is in our gut. We are supposed to be protected here, but instead, these food particles are getting through, they're getting into our bloodstream. When food particles are not supposed to be in our bloodstream, our digestive system and our immune system are supposed to destroy food particles, turn them into amino acids, fatty acids, and sugars, then absorb them, and then use them as building blocks to build our body. But when whole food particles are getting through, we start to develop huge problems. The whole body can become sensitized because our immune system starts attacking these particles wherever they float to in the body. So if we have a lot of neck pain, neck strain, we can have a lot of inflammation here, and then this can really be aggravated along with central sensitization, where our nervous system becomes super touchy. If you haven't seen our video on fibromyalgia, you should check that out. But our nervous system becomes super touchy, becomes super sensitive. Everything starts to kind of wind it up. Everything becomes really painful. So we get lots of back pains, neck pains, leg pains, all of these tiny little pains that just keep on going, and they wind the nervous system up, and migraine is a very common kind of symptom that comes along with it all. So I recently had a webinar. We talked about hormones and migraines. I really dissected what is going on with hormonal migraines, menstrual migraines, stress and migraines. I went into the gut, talking about what is going on in the gut. And so if you want to see that webinar, check it out in the first link in the bio, in the description. Check it out, click it there, it'll take you to the page.
Hey, it's Mark from migraineprofessional.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe in the bottom left corner, and if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before, and understand what causes them, what creates them, and what you can do about them, make sure to go to migraineprofessional.com. Thanks.